I just want to say that I feel like at the beginning of this investigation, I was very clear. I said there will be no fakeness and there will be no gayness in this investigation. And apparently there were some people who did not take me seriously or literally, because there are a lot of little lies being told, right? Charlie gets assassinated, and the very people who were threatening him reputationally and financially are now trying to memorialize him. Now confirmed that there was indeed a woman who was with the shooter in the footage that was captured by the houses nearby the area. And for whatever reason, the FBI has not yet released or even acknowledged that that footage exists.
Something about this entire investigation doesn't add up, and Candace Owens is done pretending otherwise. From the moment Charlie Kirk's shocking death hit the headlines, too many details were swept under the rug, too many questions left unanswered, and too many powerful people acted like nothing was wrong. But now, Candace is blowing the lid wide open, exposing evidence the FBI refuses to release, including surveillance footage showing a mysterious woman with the shooter moments before the attack. Why is that footage still hidden? Who is she, and why did she vanish just minutes before the chaos began? Candace says this isn't a coincidence, it's part of a deliberate effort to rewrite the story and protect those pulling the strings behind the scenes. And if she's right, this isn't just about Charlie Kirk. This is about power, politics, and a truth so explosive it could shake the entire system to its core. Because once the lies start to crumble, what's left might change everything we thought we knew about this case.
Accepted, all lies will be revealed, and we're going to help reveal those lies. Also, yesterday we asked for the public's help in identifying two individuals who Phil Lyman's nephew described as his close friends, who decided to retrace the path of Charlie's killer. And what we have discovered thus far is absolutely stunning. This story couldn't get any crazier.
From the very beginning, Candace Owens made one thing absolutely clear. This investigation would have no room for fakery, no tolerance for manipulation, and certainly no space for half-truths. Yet, here we are, buried under layers of deception, watching the narrative twist in real time. Charlie Kirk's assassination shocked the nation. But what's even more disturbing is how quickly the very people who once tried to destroy him financially and reputationally began glorifying him after his death. It's a sudden shift that Candace says is not just hypocritical, it's calculated. And now, explosive new details are emerging that could blow this case wide open. According to footage captured by nearby houses, there was a woman with the shooter shortly before the incident, a woman whose identity remains unknown and whose presence the FBI has neither acknowledged nor explained. That silence is deafening, and for Candace, it's the biggest red flag yet. She believes that by refusing to release the footage and withholding evidence, federal agencies are shaping the story the public is allowed to believe. And if that's true, then we're not looking at a straightforward criminal investigation. We're witnessing a carefully crafted narrative, controlled from the shadows. Candace is convinced that this case is no longer just about finding a shooter, it's about uncovering a much larger network of power, influence, and intent, hiding behind Charlie's death. Candace Owens isn't just questioning the evidence, she's accusing investigators of deliberately shaping what the public sees and believes. One of the most explosive claims she's made is that crucial details about a mysterious woman seen with the suspect on the day of Charlie's death were conveniently left out of the official reports. According to witness accounts and what's been quietly revealed, this woman walked away from the scene just minutes before. Chaos unfolded a tiny detail on the surface, but one that could flip the entire direction of the investigation if it's true. Instead of transparency, Owens says the FBI moved quickly to seal key pieces of evidence and release only carefully selected fragments, as if someone was orchestrating the story from behind closed doors. This isn't the behavior of an agency trying to build public trust, it's the behavior of one trying to control a narrative. And Candace believes the reason goes far deeper than anyone realizes. In her broadcast, she even hinted that Charlie Kirk might have been used as a political pawn, sacrificed as part of a larger agenda driven by people with far more power than the public has been led to believe. All the lies will be revealed, she vowed, promising to peel back every layer of deception and expose the forces that turned a national tragedy into a weapon of control. And if she's right, this story is no longer about a single crime, it's a chess match between truth and power, with the future of public trust hanging in the balance. The deeper Candace Owens digs, the stranger this story becomes. After she called on the public to help identify two individuals described by Phil Lyman's nephew as close friends retracing the killer's path, what they uncovered sent shockwaves through the entire investigation. Their search led to a series of discoveries that no one saw coming, including evidence suggesting that certain key data tied to the case was mysteriously edited or deleted from official systems just hours after the incident. That revelation alone would raise eyebrows, but it's only the beginning. What started as an isolated tragedy has now spiraled into a sprawling web of corruption allegations, political motives, and suspicious financial ties that stretch far beyond Charlie Kirk himself. Independent journalists, digital forensic experts, and even insiders from the tech world have begun piecing together connections between Turning Point USA, influential donors, and high-ranking government figures, and the picture they're painting is darker than anyone expected. Candace, never one to back down from a fight, stepped directly into the storm, claiming that the sanitized version of events fed to the public doesn't match the reality unfolding behind the scenes. She insists that critical facts were deliberately cut, altered, or distorted to guide public opinion away from uncomfortable truths. Her warning is chilling. Charlie's case may not just be a personal tragedy, it could be a mirror reflecting a much bigger operation happening in the shadows, and that's why the internet is ablaze with debate. Is this a string of bizarre coincidences, or is it proof that someone powerful is pulling the strings and rewriting the truth before our eyes? As Candace Owens kept digging, she claimed the manipulation went even deeper than anyone expected. She argued that many of the rumors swirling around Charlie Kirk's death weren't just false, they were purposefully fabricated to redirect public attention and bury the real forces operating behind the scenes. From day one, Candace vowed she wouldn't compromise with lies, but the deeper she went, the more layers of deception she uncovered. She exposed how people who had once vilified Charlie were now suddenly glorifying him, twisting his legacy into something he never supported, all to distract from the real issues of money, power, and secrecy lurking inside Turning Point USA. They're trying to make Charlie into something he wasn't, Candace declared, warning that whoever controls the narrative controls the truth. Then, she dropped one of her boldest claims yet, that Charlie's death wasn't some random act of violence, but part of a carefully planned operation. According to her, surveillance footage allegedly shows a woman with the suspect moments before the incident, but the FBI not only refused to release the footage, they wouldn't even admit it exists. To Candace, that's not an oversight, it's a cover-up. She argues that the missing footage could reveal whether the shooter acted alone or was part of a larger network working toward a shared goal. And that's why she says the public deserves full transparency. Until every piece of evidence is revealed, she insists, no one can trust the official story. Her message to those in power is simple but chilling. I don't care who you are or how much power you have, I will not stay silent. This story isn't over, and when the truth comes out, every lie will collapse. Phil Lyman, a gubernatorial candidate with no reason to be involved in a criminal case, suddenly threw himself into the center of the Charlie Kirk investigation, raising eyebrows everywhere. His intense push for answers, from bold public statements to personally speaking with witnesses, sparked speculation that he might know more than he's letting on. Lyman insists he only wants transparency, but Candace Owens believes there's more beneath the surface. That's when another key figure emerged, Shaner Barrick, described as Lyman's nephew, who was the first to track and map the events surrounding Charlie's death. His findings shaped the media's early narrative until things suddenly changed. Out of nowhere, Lyman claimed Shaner wasn't his nephew but a distant cousin, contradicting public records and past statements. Owens called it a small detail full of confusion, suggesting someone was trying to distance themselves from accountability. And then, Shaner vanished, deleting social media accounts, locking profiles, and wiping away any trace of his involvement. For Owens, that wasn't coincidence, it was a sign that someone close to the truth was being silenced. Shaner Barrick's sudden disappearance only deepened the mystery. Within hours of being linked to the investigation, All his social media accounts vanished, his LinkedIn was deleted, and every post tied to the case was wiped away. Candace Owens says that's no coincidence, it's what happens when someone knows too much. She even contacted Phil Lyman directly to identify two mysterious people seen with Shaner in a key photo, but instead of clear answers, she got vague denials that raised even more suspicion. When someone denies the obvious instead of clarifying it, something is wrong, she said on air. Owens believes the ties between Lyman, Shaner, and those individuals are far deeper than anyone admits, and that this silence signals a bigger story being hidden. Even more troubling, she revealed details about Charlie being taken to a hospital that was farther away and less equipped, a move she calls inexplicable in an emergency. Was it a mistake or a calculated decision to control who saw his real condition? Every unanswered question, every piece of missing evidence, every silence points to one chilling conclusion. This wasn't just a tragedy, it was a carefully managed operation designed to shape what the public knows. The deeper Candace Owens investigates, the more the details look orchestrated rather than accidental. Right after Charlie's death hit the headlines, the hospital that treated him abruptly replaced its CEO, and even the chief surgeon was swapped out, changes that happened too fast to be coincident. Then came a massive memorial service at State Farm Stadium with nearly 90,000 attendees, arranged in record time and reportedly secured with White House help. Why would a private memorial need political involvement at the highest level? Candace believes these events weren't random at all, but part of a larger effort to manage the narrative, and the FBI's silence only adds fuel to the fire. They still haven't released surveillance footage showing a woman allegedly assisting the suspect, nor has her presence been officially confirmed. Witness testimonies have been vague, contradictory, and often from people with ties to law enforcement or government agencies, raising suspicions of interference and collusion. Instead of bringing clarity, each new revelation only deepens the confusion, and for many, it's now clear that Charlie Kirk's death isn't just a political incident, but a symptom of something far bigger, where power, media, and truth collide in the shadows. As more witnesses step forward and more details emerge, the story only grows darker and more tangled. Testimonies from people like Olivia Robertson, Cobb Bishop, who claimed a direct encounter with the suspect, have raised even more questions about who was really involved and why certain facts remain hidden. Each conflicting account, each unreleased video, each unexplained decision points to a disturbing possibility. The truth about Charlie Kirk's death is being carefully controlled. Candace Owens warns that what we're seeing is not just a flawed investigation, but a campaign to rewrite reality itself. And every time evidence disappears or stories change, public trust erodes even further. More and more people now believe this wasn't a random act of violence at all, but part of a deeper power struggle where information is manipulated and truth is buried. And that's why Candace refuses to stop, because behind all the lies and silence, there's a story powerful people don't want the world to hear. At this point, one thing is undeniable. The Charlie Kirk case is no longer just about one man's tragic death. It's become a window into how power operates behind the scenes, how narratives are shaped, and how truth is buried when it threatens those in control. From the missing surveillance footage and mysterious woman to the sudden disappearances, hospital decisions, and political involvement, every piece of this puzzle suggests there's far more at stake than the public has been told. Candace Owens has made it clear she's not backing down until every hidden layer is brought to light. And whether you see her as a truth teller or a provocateur, her investigation is forcing the world to ask hard questions about who controls information and why. Because in the end, this isn't just a story about Charlie Kirk. It's a battle over truth itself, and the outcome could change how we see everything that happened that day and everything we think we know about those pulling the strings.